How would you suggest students approach an exam question on representation?
Well, I think it's important that students are able to demonstrate their broader understanding of the concept of representation, and that they start their response by showing what they know, by presenting an overview of the concept.
An overview. What do you mean exactly by an overview?
Well, this relates back to all of the things that we've been talking about earlier, which are to do with construction and mediation and ideology. So you would expect that students could show that understanding that representation isn't just about describing their particular text, so they don't just launch into a list of texts they've got or a description of them. They can put those texts into some sort of context, which then demonstrates a more sophisticated understanding of the concept.
Perhaps you could reconfirm how many examples you're actually looking for in an answer.
Well, we are suggesting that students should be able to discuss 2 to 3 examples in specific detail. The examination question will be general because every centre will have done different examples, so they will be asked to comment on perhaps the representation of gender in the media today. But what we don't expect as a response is that very general response where they just talk generally about newspapers or television programmes. So we would expect that they choose their examples and they refer specifically, for example, to EastEnders or Skins or whatever example that they've chosen, and that they should be able to discuss that example from a fairly sophisticated media studies point of view, using relevant vocabulary, and as I was trying to say, using some of these more complex ideas about representation. So if they are looking at representation of gender in EastEnders and they're looking at men, then you would expect them to be able to discuss the notion of stereotyping and the construction of a particular type, and therefore to talk about audience recognition and responses to that particular stereotype. So they should attempt to introduce the examples, relate them to their overall understanding of the concept, and have some sort of summing up. You know, it is an exam response. It should have a start, a beginning and an end where they suggest to you what they've tried to demonstrate in that response.